finally doing it. We're hitting the Connecticut River just below the Holyoke Dam in Holyoke, Massachusetts. We're launching from the South Hadley side today. And this is Holyoke, Massachusetts right here. Paper City. So much for Scranton. That's the Electric City. This is Holyoke, Mass, which was once the North Parish of West Springfield until it became independent in 1853. And the independence of Holyoke is due to the fact that they built this dam that we're going to be going by in a minute. That dam allowed the creation of a massive canal system. And that canal system powers dozens of factories, generally paper-related, but many others. This is kind of a cool moment. We're going to get down there. There's a lot of great fish species to catch in this part of the Connecticut River, from pike through walleye and sturgeon even. Tom has actually seen them in the river. And, of course, large and smallmouth bass, shad, stripers. There's all kinds of good fish to catch here. Northern pike. So we'll see what we get into as we fish below the Holyoke Dam between Holyoke and South Hadley. The Paper City. There was once a thriving economy in Holyoke, and I got to say there's still a lot of companies that are surviving here. And you can see this on the Canal factory, former paper company, on one of the great canals. Now this canal makes a loop, and I think the canal is about a mile and a half long in a big rectangle. So it comes in here at the dam, and then it goes down about a mile and a half, and then it swings about half a mile and then makes the continued loop up the other side. Now I'm just estimating, but that's how far I think it is. You can see the row houses. I mean, Holyoke was a churning industrial city for years and years. The factories didn't start coming down. This factory in front of us, you see the trees, that factory just came down last year. In fact, they're still doing some demolition on it. So it's kind of sad to see it happen, but the economy has changed. And if you're up here in Holyoke during the shad run, right here you can go to the fishway. You can actually take a tour and watch the fish coming over the elevator. They had a fish elevator there to get the shad and salmon and whatever else is coming over the elevator out. The dam is shut, Tom. That's what we like to see. So there's the Holyoke Dam, and what we're going to do is we're going to put in right over there. You can see the cars, and we're going to work our way up into this shallow area of the river, and we're going to do some fishing. And this is perfect conditions. Perfect conditions. The baby shad are maybe, a half an inch long, 3/4 of an inch long, and they're going to be in giant schools getting ready to come down the river. And the stripers and assorted other game fish are on the feed here. So we're in South Hadley now. We swing around just beyond this playground, and we're going to go to the Stan Burchelski boat ramp. And Stan Burchelski wrote for the Springfield Republican for 30 years. He wrote an outdoor column that was information-based. He'd tell you where they stocked, what the new rules and regs were for hunting and fishing. He'd tell you about big catches and big kills in the valley. Stan Burchelski was a newspaperman's newspaperman. He did a lot for sportsmen here in western Massachusetts, and he ends up with a boat ramp named after him after his retirement. So Officer Price and I have launched the boats here at the Burchelski ramp on the lower Connecticut River. I think we're going to call it the upper Connecticut River after that French King Lock. And so now what we've got here is we've got a series of islands and spillways on the west side of the river. You can see Mount Tom towering above up here. The river goes up and then takes a sharp right as it moves toward Vermont and New Hampshire. So I started out with a little, of course I threw the spinnerbait first, but now I put on a little minnow, little suspending minnow, and I'm just doing a little jerk in here. There's a lot of minnows in the river at this time of the year, and so I'm going to start out by matching the hatch because the sun's high, so I'm using a small one to start. Now you can see the dam up in front of us under the bridge. And the history of that dam is pretty hilarious. That the dam was originally created by a group of investors back in, I think it was 1847. They just decided to build a dam. You know, they knew that hydropower was real. When I say hydropower, the power of water to turn a giant wheel. Oh, Tom just missed one. The power of water to turn a giant water wheel that could then turn through a series of gears and wheels and belts and axles, the intricate machinery inside of a mill. And it's amazing because each factory owner comes up with their own little techniques to make their particular water wheel more efficient. And this is the great age of what they call Yankee ingenuity, the early 19th century. And Holyoke, Massachusetts is an example of that ingenuity. The problem is they didn't have a lot of ingenuity when it came to engineering a dam, and the first dam they built filled up the Holyoke Reservoir behind the dam, and when the dam was, oh, there we go. Oh, nice smallmouth, Tom. Nice smallmouth. When the dam was full, it broke, and I could be fishing some of the ruins of it right now. This is a Lake George size smallmouth, Tom. Oh, yes. Digging, fighting. Oh, yes. Now, he's not quite a Lake George smallmouth, but he's a river smallmouth, and he's very feisty. I thought he was way bigger when he came out of the water initially. And you see, I said, you know, you want to use those little minnow baits. They are a really good choice at this time of the year, because these little minnow baits are matching the hatch. And I got the bait real tight while I grab a hold of this guy and get him off. I'm bleeding, but he's not. Oh. Well, what's more important, a little blood for me or getting the fish back into the water safely? Let's be honest. I'll tell you, I thought that was bigger the way it came out of the water initially. Yeah, there's so many kinds of fish in this darn river. You have no idea. It could be carp spawning for all we know. So, in 1847, they built the dam, which promptly broke when the reservoir filled. No permits, they just decided to build a dam. Well, they then built another dam the following year, and that dam held. And while it's been repaired a few times, it's generally still in the exact same location. And it hasn't broke since. The thing about it is, this is a river, and rivers silt up pretty quick, so I don't even think that the water's that deep behind that dam. So if it broke, it just caused the river to be muddy for a while. But that's how they did things before the Mill River flood. The Mill River flood in 1874, I think, was what changed everything. We have a video about the Mill River flood. In fact, it was our first video that we made for Fishing Historic Places. So the question is, you know, that's 30 years later. I wonder how many other dams broke in Massachusetts and how many other lives were lost. Now, no lives were lost when this dam broke. I just think it's a funny story. The idea that a bunch of guys get together and say, let's build a dam. So they hired an engineer with no dam building experience, and he builds a dam, and he didn't anchor it to the bedrock, supposedly. And if you look at this river, you can see up there toward the dam, there's a bunch of exposed hunks of Connecticut Valley shale going across, and they didn't anchor it properly. Well, I guess this dam is anchored properly. It's not being undermined. See, Tom is in front of one of the old spillways, and these spillways used to be to the tree line. And this factory has been shut down, and there's been no water coming out of those spillways for like 3 or 4 years. We were just here last year and there was water in there. It's unbelievable how fast a river will silt. So when we're out looking at sites and you're thinking about what it was like on the Housatonic when the Indians were there, it's almost impossible to make the call, because if you're on a river, it's changing all the time. If you're talking about a lake, much less so, but even a lake is going to change over time. Down below the smokestack's kind of right behind me right now, and you can see on the South Hadley shore a very large foundation. Some kind of old factory over there. I'd have to research it. I don't know what factory that was, but it looks like some sort of factory. Long gone. I mean, there was the 38 hurricane, and there was the 36 flood, the massive ice jam. There was an ice jam up here, and there was an ice jam down at Windsor Locks. It was a terrible flood up here. The 1930s were rough, not just because of the Depression, but because of natural disasters. Then there was the 55 flood, 27 inches of rain right here in a 24-hour period. That's a lot of rain. I don't have to tell you. So who knows? And it's funny because, like, living memory, I don't know, you have to be talking to the right people. There are people that will tell you all about the old days, and there's other people that they don't, one thing leads into another, and they don't talk about it. My father would tell me about the 55 flood, and you know how when your father tells you something, you're like, Well, then as I did a little bit of research on it, I was like, holy crap, that was something else. But when my dad was telling me about it, I didn't necessarily want to hear it. Because he used to tell us about it all the time. I was like, a 55 flood. And it's kind of funny. Funny phenomena. I'm going to put the spinnerbait on and run it. We got some shallow water. I'm banging the bottom with a crankbait that's only going 3 feet under the water. So I'm going to try running the spinnerbait and see if I can stir something up. There's some weeds, some clam. Mr. Smallmouth. Oh, feisty guy. Spits it at the boat. Nice. And he's in 2 feet of water here. He hit. Wow. So they don't have to be in the deep water. You're fishing smallmouth in lakes and you're looking for drop-offs and all that. River smallmouth are different. That water's cool. Smallmouth. Oh, that's a nice size one. Oh! Whoa, he's bulldogging Tom. He's pulling me around. Look at him, he's giving me a Nantucket sleigh ride. Oh, now he's ramming the boat. Oh yeah, the river smallmouth are just the best. They fight so well. This is a nice size river smallmouth. Nice, what'd you say here, 2-pounder. I mean, he's not a Lake Georgia, but he's, if you get that at Lake Georgia, you're like, that's a decent fish. Massachusetts, that's a good smallmouth. Tom! He's back in the water. And they're in shallow water. These smallmouth are all in like 2 feet of water.
That's a good one.
On impact time, it hit right when it hit the water. Then I tried to turn the camera on and, oh, look at the bald eagle's nest right there in the tree up there, that sycamore. See the eagle's nest? I think it's an eagle's nest. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a bunch of crap. Wow. Oh, there we go. Oh! Oh, he's digging. He's fighting. Bulldozing. Bulldog. Oh! Oh. Oh, Connecticut River smallmouth, people. Wow! He won't stop. I'm getting, yeah, look at the shore go by. This is him pulling me. This has nothing to do with the current. What the? This guy's crazy. Holy! The water all over me now. He doesn't care. He's totally selfish. Oh, yeah. Yeah, another good one. Look at that guy. Connecticut River smallmouth. I'm gonna give him a little flip over the side. Just for his great help there. He did a nice dancing job, Tom. Now, it doesn't matter. You get big ones and you get little ones on the spinnerbait. He says, I see a school of little fish. This is a second-year smallmouth. He's in his second year. River fish grow quick. Yeah, maybe third year. Probably second year. If they're eating good, they grow so fast. And you know how I know that? You're not supposed to do this, but I had one in my fish tank. We actually had 3 in the fish tank once. And over a winter, they went from that big to the size I just caught. So if they're eating right, we were feeding them toughies, and then we let them go. Back in the same lake we caught them out of fishing game. We did not do any illegal stocking. We just brought them home and grew them and then released them back on Otis Reservoir, little smallmouths. It's easy to catch smallmouth, little smallmouth in a net off the dock. Like a tropical fish tank net, you can just dip them and catch them. And now it's illegal to do it. You shouldn't do it, but it was an experiment. None of them died, and they're voracious. Because bass, our bass that we call bass, largemouth and smallmouth, are not really bass, they're cichlids. Like the cichlids in the Great African Rift. Oh, there we go. Yep. Oh. The Great African Rift lakes, Lake Malawi, Lake Tanganyika. Right? Oh! He's a, oh, yes! Holy cow. These guys are scrappers. And there's a dead shad floating by who's seen better days. Oh yeah, come on out. All right, we lip them. You see, bass don't have teeth, you know that. We lip them and we release him. Oh, that shad left a scent trail. That shad stunk. Oh. He's fighting it standing up. He doesn't care. He's honey badgering the smallmouth. Oh, there's some drag. I think I just saw him loosen up his drag because he knows that the camera's...
He's trying to tire him out.
Put a barrel in it. Wow, that's what they've been doing to me. They're wicked. In here. Holy cow. Oh, he's going La Chapelle. He's got the net.
Guy for smallie.
Yeah. I saw him come out of the water. That's a big fish. That's about a 3. Maybe a 4.
Thought I had him closer.
What?
I thought I had him closer to net him, but he took too much drag.
Oh, this is where they go. This is where they go. Get ready.
Trying to get him up. He's staying down
Yeah,
deep.
that's what they've been doing. They've been dogging.
Oh, I almost had him.
They got energy.
Yeah, they're river fish. They're all full of life. This is a nice fish.
Stop. Oh. Oh, just below it.
He is like showing you how not to net.
You're right.
In a kayak right now. Just jump in and wrestle him. Oh. This is good stuff right here.
I figured he'd be tired, but there we go.
Tired,
Oh, he's almost... Man. Got him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is a hog.
That's like probably a 3.5, 4.
At least.
Look at this.
That's a big river smallmouth.
Smallmouth. Nice fish. Let me get a picture of that for you.
Turkey vultures are eating a meal of dried shad, which is highly, tasty, full of protein. They're not sharing. They're going to town over there. And turkey vultures look like turkeys. That's why they call them turkey vultures.
Just everywhere? Yeah.
He
Cast it towards shore at all? Yeah.
and a lot shallower.
Caught a bunch in the shallows.
Way shallower than you would think. Like
No, I know.
2 feet and less. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. Things he's trying.
Never seen an emergency. Want to go so slow?
He hasn't done a lot of backing up, you can tell. The Aquavictus would be in and all the way up there by now.
Yeah.
That's a nice fence rail, Tom.
Yeah.
Bring that home.
Business and be careful a moment. Just gotta try to do it low key.
Are you kidding me?
I thought Tori was